Dorky Daddies, how y'all doing? Today, I want to get on my soapbox yet again. I feel like I just beat this dead horse constantly, but it's because I'm so passionate about it. I am constantly reminded from comments, people I interact with on a daily basis, and I just want to make sure that I'm so clear in how I feel about what we're talking about today, which is just, should you edit with DaVinci Resolve? Should you edit with Premiere Pro? Should you edit with Final Cut? And the answer is, you should use what works best for you. And that what works best for you could literally be the better tool, what has more features, what's the cheapest, what makes you the happiest. I've got carpal tunnel guitar finger. Like I just can't say it enough, and I say it so many times, and I just need to make a whole dedicated video to reiterating this point that you gotta use the right tool for the right job. That's the bottom line. Like, I'm of course going to talk about DaVinci Resolve. I'm of course going to talk about Final Cut Pro. I'm of course going to talk about Premiere Pro and dog on it because it's so expensive, and in my opinion you don't need to use it because the other ones can do everything just as good and don't cost as much money. But again, I'm a YouTube editor. I don't work at a big corporation editing videos, which is usually the people who use Premiere and it gets paid for, and there's all the collaboration features and whatever. Again, I think that's changing. I think Resolve is going to eat their lunch very soon, if they're not already. I think they've passed that. I don't know what the current stats are. It's not something I check on super regularly because, again, I just don't care. I don't like Premiere. It's too expensive. But the point is, there's always a reason to use something that works for you. And I'm going to say something today that might drive you guys crazy because you're probably like, Jake, you never make up your damn mind. And I do make up my damn mind, which is use the thing that works for you. So for example, right now, Final Cut Pro is putting in work for Jake. It's putting in work. When I'm in the shed with my good audio recording into Logic, syncing it up with just a good, well-lit camera angle, Final Cut crushes this. So if it's this type of video, or a video where I'm sitting at the desk and making something, which is something I want to do a lot of recently, or a podcast where I'm cutting between angles of me sitting at a desk talking to someone, we've got a whole bunch of those still coming. Like, Final Cut crushes at these tasks. And on top of it all, I, as you guys are well aware, work a desk job the rest of the time for my life. So I sit at a desk all day. So sometimes at the end of the day, there is nothing that sounds better than opening up Final Cut Pro on my laptop screen, lounging on the couch and editing. Like, it just sounds like pure bliss. And I've been doing that so much lately because my neck and my back are killing me. I'm getting old, which is frustrating, but it's the truth. And I just have been loving using Final Cut, and for all of the reasons I just said, for my YouTube videos, I've been doing some short form for Dunna lately, Final Cut Pro is crushing for me. It's doing everything I want it to do and more. And I think it gets this bad rep as being like a bad tool, and it's a great tool. You can do so much with it, and if you enjoy using it, use Final Cut Pro. If you're feeling like you can't do stuff and you need extra tools, DaVinci Resolve is great for that. And again, I just want to reiterate in this video, and I think it can't be said enough, that I am so passionate about using what works for you. And again, if Premiere makes sense to you for whatever reasons, like, don't listen to me, and this is just not the space for you, most likely. Again, there's lots of other great editing stuff on this channel through the guest episodes and all of that. So, it's not just about DaVinci Resolve and Final Cut, but for a video like today, talking about things that work, like, I'm not in the Premiere camp, so again, you're not going to get anything out of my opinions with that stuff, which is fine. That's totally fine. Like, who cares? That's great. I just want to reiterate, use what works for you and don't fight that, like, creatively, whatever you need to do to make videos is the most important thing. I've said this 1,000 times, and again, I've been someone who not too long ago was like, Resolve is doing everything I love and it's crushing it, and then I wanted to sit on the couch and edit, and I was ripping my hair out because I hate Resolve's UI for a laptop screen. I just absolutely hate it. Started cutting some of these episodes in Final Cut, and immediately was like, gosh, this is just so enjoyable. It's getting me to edit. It's getting me to make my quote-unquote stories, or whatever you want to call them, or my episodes, my content, whatever. That is what is getting me to do it right now. I hope that was kind of helpful, right? Like kind of hearing what I'm using and why. And again, I will make this video. I will keep making this video so that you guys are informed on why I like one or the other and what I'm using it for certain things. Right now that's Final Cut, and it's crushing, and it's doing so great. For a minute there, 2 seconds ago, it was all DaVinci Resolve. Loving all of the graphics tools. I was talking about that. Another big one, real quick side tangent here, because we're just having fun today. I did recently get Dylan Bates, also known as the Final Cut Bro on YouTube. I got his Shake plugin, and it's so much better than the handheld oscillator in Final Cut Pro. Like, that thing sucks, and I always hated it. So now, between that plugin from him, which is free, you can pay what you want, which is super cool, between that plugin and Add Motion, like, I can do all my dorky dad graphics in Final Cut Pro, and yeah, like, I don't know. So that's another big reason that Final Cut's been absolutely awesome for me. Again, I can't say it enough. Screaming from the editing shed, use what works for you. Take my advice. I'm here to try to help you and give you the information that I've gotten from years and years of editing and working with YouTubers, and what makes sense for certain processes that I have experienced, but I haven't experienced them all. I don't use Premiere. You can't come to me for great Premiere advice other than my take on the cost. And again, I think it's a valuable take, but I've never used it. And I've never worked for like big corporate client type gigs. I do YouTube editing. I do my own channels editing. I do, I live and breathe YouTube. So take that with a grain of salt. Like, you should always come to some place like my little community, my little dorky dad editing community, and understand what I stand for, what I believe in, and my experience. And I'm trying my best always to relay that to you guys, and then take that information and do what works for you. That's the whole point of this channel, is try to teach you a little bit more about editing and how to be a better editor in general, and then compare DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut, the tools that get me excited to sit down and make stuff. And again, that you could not use either of them. You could use both of them. You could use one of them based on the information I give you. Great. Use what works for you. All right, dorky daddies, I'm just gonna kick the old soapbox out from under me. I'm gonna let you guys get back to your day. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'm gonna get back to editing. Later, guys.